They get to hear a podcast and a concert. We got an open mic happening right now. We're at the Meteor.
Yeah, we're doing an open mic over at the Meteor Guitar Gallery. Meteor Guitar Gallery. It's like the room requirement for Harry Potter, except with amps. All right. Anyway. He's Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Connie's Untitled Nighttime Talk Show. My guest tonight drills more box than an electrician, kills more pussy than PETA, and plugs more holes than Flex Seals, even though he looks like a regular person. Ladies and gentlemen, musician Stan Watson, everybody.
Happy to be here, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Stan, you're a certified badass. How many bands are you in?
You know, I got to think about it. Technically, five. A couple of them were just kind of more laid back and casual, but most of them are cover bands, if that counts. I mean, some people don't even count a cover band as a real band.
I don't know. I mean, do you get paid doing it?
I mean, that's the only reason why some of these bands that I'm even in to begin with. But
doesn't sound like it's beneath anything I would do.
No. But my first band was pretty much just exclusively original. Vintage Pistol.
Oh my God, you were in Vintage Pistol?
Yeah, that was about 8 years ago.
Damn. Oh,
you know any of the guys in Vintage Pistol?
I talked
Taylor.
to Walt. I haven't gotten a chance to sit down with Taylor.
Yeah, Walt.
No, yeah.
I haven't talked to him in a minute, but I think he's doing pretty good. I mean,
I did one with Jacob Schaefer.
Did you really?
I did.
Yeah,
I wanted to corner him. I wanted to corner him and ask him why he was the most successful person I'd ever met who made time to correct people on Facebook. But then he invited me into his house, and I didn't want to be a bad guest. You know, and he is a really nice guy.
Yeah.
You know,
no, he is.
And very talented.
Yeah, he's an incredible drummer.
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing tears me up more than I don't know if it tears me up. I get fucking annoyed by creative people just tearing each other down on fucking social media for no reason, and it's
Yeah, I don't know what do you think is the mindset behind that? I mean, because I think musicians are very passionate.
I've been bit by the snake myself. Don't get me wrong. All right, pandemic hit, and comedy's terrible for this. All right, if I say anything to hurt your feelings tonight, it would mean that you would not talk to me for the rest of my life, basically.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah. No,
I'm used to it.
I
got pretty thick skin, so.
Yeah, the thing with the comedy...
As a comedian, you have to be okay to offend people. And that's, if you're going to go watch comedy, you better expect...
Well, you got to be careful where you hold that magnifying glass, because, if you turn it on other comedians, in my observation, it's exactly like high school, but for 30-year-olds, Nobody's getting laid, and they're 30. It's... Oh, gosh, yeah, and I'll say that, last time I got bit by the Facebook argument snake, it was the last time because, it was the pandemic, everybody's getting handy, chicken seeing me at home.
Yeah, I think everybody went through a little uncertain phase.
I thrived during the pandemic.
Really?
I don't know what that says about me, but it seems like while everybody was having a terrible time, I was like, gas is $1. I started a band. We were practicing in a dispensary every week. I was still doing shows every weekend. 8 people, just like normal.
Really?
Yeah. And
a dispensary.
Yeah.
Of all places.
In Wagner, shout out to Peeps Place. We'll get her on shortly. Yeah. No, but I had a great time.
So you were living the dream. You were just smoking weed all day.
Well,
playing music.
Well, okay,
writing jokes.
I wanted to be down on myself for a while, and I wanted to be depressed. That's my natural inclination. But I've
been there. Yeah.
I had an 800 square foot apartment. I had no fucking furniture. I had, except for what I stole from work, a crappy futon that you'd get a wound from taking a nap on. you know, that and just like guitars and stuff. And, you know, I would try to complain to my brother-in-law. And he's really the person who kind of turned me around on this whole self-esteem thing. But he, you know, I was telling him, like, so I got into comedy and I started doing like the shows and stuff. And it felt like, at least at home, you know, nobody knew what to talk to me about for Thanksgiving dinner, you know? And then I kept doing my thing. Time passed. Eventually my brother-in-law, shout out to Fred, gets into comedy and gives me this story at IHOP after a gig one night. That's the move, by the way. You go to Waffle House
Oh, yeah,
like
Waffle
2 in the
House,
morning,
yeah.
dude? Yeah. And then he was telling, you know, I was trying to complain to him. And I was like, yeah, dude, you know, I just go home and I'm all by myself and, you know, it's all peaceful all the time, you know, nothing there. And he was like, well, you know, I just got divorced from my wife and, you know, it seems like your situation is a dream compared to going home to a house full of people who hate you.
Oh, shoot.
You know? Like, he told me, it's like, Conrad, when I was your age, I was at Pepperdine University, and I wanted to get on stage, and it was, you know, we were at the Comedy Store, and it was open mic, and it was 2 in the morning, and I didn't do it, and I think about that, you know, and I was like, well, you know, if my midlife crisis comes, it's gonna be, I'm broke still, like, not like, I wish I would have done something different.
So while half the world was like panicking and freaking out during the pandemic, you were just thriving in a...
Well, I was like, yeah, I was a traveling bomb
Yeah.
salesman. Everybody had a stimulus check. Business was incredible. You didn't forget that guitar. Hell yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, it was great. Gas went down. Everybody had disposable income, so all of my dispensary clients were just like making cubic dollars, you know. And I could do band practice every Sunday at a dispensary. Where like, it was so common smoking pot there that like whenever I get a gig in Arkansas, I'd have to tell the people in the band like, hey guys, we can't literally smoke joints the entire time here. We can't do that.
Well,
like,
yeah, that's in Vintage Pistol. That was kind of how it was. Though it was just smoking joints all the time.
On stage?
Uh,
On stage.
with Andy Frasco. Oh,
On
yeah.
stage. Well,
Yeah,
Andy Frasco's
yeah.
different.
We used to play with Andy
He's,
Frasco quite a bit.
oh
yeah.
god. Yeah. Well, he's
But
just
those
on
guys. Well,
territory.
we were like a psychedelic rock band, if you want to even classify it. Psychedelic jam band. So the whole idea was like just to be very experimental.
Well, okay, so tell me what you think about this. Anytime, like, I tell people I play music, they're like, oh, what kind of music do you play?
Yeah.
And then I automatically default to douchebag, and I say something like, music.
Right.
I play it. And yeah, like, I had a conversation with a bartender one time at a gig that I haven't been back since. So it's like, what kind of music do you play? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, is it Spanish? Is it country? Is it hip hop? And I'm like, I got a song with all 3 of those things in there.
Yeah.
You know? And then it was my fault. I got done with the gig and I asked her, I was like, so Lisa, what kind of music do I play? And she was like, to be honest, I didn't like it. It's like, thanks for your
Really?
candor. She's like, yeah, I couldn't understand what you were saying into the microphone. And I'm like, well, I tried.
Were you playing originals or were you doing covers?
Grab your stuff, man.
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know.
No, this is a found footage show. Yeah, no, we're in your space. Yesterday there was foul balls
Man,
getting
that bass
hit
is
into
rocking.
the thing.
But yeah, that's kind of the risk. I'm sure that's kind of the risk you take whenever you write original songs and put it out there.
Well,
which
that wasn't
which
original.
I am not
It
doing
was
right
just
now.
like,
But that's
I took my like PA that I made an Andy Frasco-esque trade for, you know, during the pandemic, and the room was probably like 200 feet deep, and this thing's only good for like, I don't know, 150 people, you know? It's a 150 watt PA, and I've only got like 6-foot stands to put it on. Like, there's a limit, and usually the limit is like, all right, well, this will be good enough for any room that I can play, unless they have a built-in speaker system. Wrong, but I forget the point.
So when people ask you what kind of music you play, what's your kind of your go-to?
Yeah, people enjoy it, you know. I'll pander to every audience, and that's literally what I do. Because like, if I'm playing a show like if I'm playing like Trailhead Tap, shout out, you guys, I love you guys.
Shout out to Tony, Sarah.
Yeah. Shout out to
that place has been a lot of fun for me. I've had a lot of good shows there.
Well, like, so I'm at the point where it's like if I play a show, nobody who knows me is going to show up.
We need to move this camera
because I'm there.
Is that good?
I don't know. It's probably good.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, I can fix a bunch of crap in post. The whole thing is not supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be great. It's supposed to be accessible. Anyway.
Yeah, I just need to be front and center on the spotlight. So as long as that's.
Well, I got a wide angle there. That'll
good.
cover everything. Yeah.
No, but at Trailhead Tap, so at gigs like Trailhead Tap, because I mean, you write a lot of your own originals. Do you do mostly originals at those kind of shows? Like you like 50-50, 60-40, or?
The biggest chasm for me across was like I started comedy and doing okay. I tried to be a lead singer for a while, and I tried to rent out the guitar playing to somebody else, and then like the week before our first gig ever, this dude decides to drive to South Carolina to go bang his ex-girlfriend one last time. Car breaks down, pandemic happens. It's like, and
so,
that
yeah,
for
so
me
karma came in and hit him pretty hard.
Well, I don't know if it was karma or just a lack of thought. I mean, I could have told you that he has to change the oil in his car.
Right.
There's a lot of musicians that this is something I kind of wanted to talk to you about. A lot of musicians that think that like if you've got the leather pants, then that's all you need. And you can tell those guys because they wear them out to the grocery store.
Well, you can tell that I don't really put too much emphasis on the rock star look. I'm wearing
you're all work.
Flip-flops, shorts, and a t-shirt.
And that's the Gary Clark Junior School of Business. Real pimps dress down.
I don't even have a single tattoo, which is pretty rare.
Well, I don't have any either. But I'd say, I don't want to fuck up my skin.
Right, exactly. You get it.
Yeah. I already got eczema on my elbows. I can't. Yeah. Sponsored by Jergens. Jergens. You can use it on your elbows too. Boy, this is louder than I thought.
I know, yeah.
Get creative here.
At least we got a free performance happening in the background for the audience. They get to hear a podcast and a concert. We got an open mic happening right now. We're at the Meteor.
Yeah, we're doing an open mic over at the Meteor Guitar Gallery. Meteor Guitar Gallery. It's like the rumor requirement for Harry Potter, except with amps. All right. Anyway.
This is Smashing Pumpkins. We haven't talked about
How many times have Radiohead been played since they got here?
I haven't heard it yet, but
right.
it's usually Creep is the one that's the go-to.
Yeah, usually it's Creep 3 times.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fake Plastic Tree, that's a good one.
No, but like, getting back to the point is like, if you've got a huge musical dong, it doesn't. You could go up there wearing a fucking like a potato sack. If you shred, you're still the coolest guy at the bar.
Well, the funny thing is, in Dial-Up's the 90s tribute band that
That's one of the bands.
That's kind of the main project that I've been in for the past 9 years.
I've noticed you guys out there selling tickets. What's that like?
What's that like?
Yeah. People show up to see you.
I know. Well,
whoa.
They show up for an experience. We're just bringing them they're not coming to see us.
We're just
We're not. We just play 90 songs. We're to create an atmosphere.
We just play every note, dress up.
So as far as like the dressing up, to your point, we dress up in like goofy nostalgia. Like I have like parachute pants, acid wash jeans,
Space Jam.
Yeah, Space Jam costumes.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you what our costume is this Halloween. We got a big Halloween plan this year, but in the past we've been like
It's
Mortal Kombat
July.
Or Power Rangers. We were Power Rangers 2 years ago.
Okay.
So we have like the tight spandex costumes. I was a Green Ranger, so if you can wear a Power Rangers costume and play guitar, then you're just doing it for the fun of it, not for the image of rock star image.
That's not okay. So two thoughts on that. All right, like the idea of fame to me seems wildly inconvenient. If I could put a paper bag on my head and fucking if I could be Buckethead. That seems like the way to do it. Like Gene Simmons, they took the makeup
Right.
off, and everybody's like, put it back on. We don't like seeing like that, cause then you can like walk around.
Yeah.
Like with comedians, for example, they don't get like, with a handful of exceptions, they don't get triple chocolate famous. You know, they're not having a tough time at the grocery store. They're just, you know, if you walk into the show that they're like into the club where they're performing the show at, and their face is on the thing, that's where they get to experience that.
Right.
But for me, you know, I don't know.
Well, being famous, I mean, I don't think that I would really want that either, because a lot of people who get that fame, they're searching for that, and once they get it, they find it's like an empty hole that was never really fulfilled.
Well, it's like,
and that's why they turn oftentimes to alcohol or drugs to try to find that missing.
well, not to
piece.
get like overly philosophical or anything.
Oh,
but, like,
that's why I'm here. Let's go philosophical. Let's do it.
all right. Tell me this, Stan. Like, has there ever been a time in your life when you got something that
This
you
is not
wanted?
malt liquor, by the way. This is water. But
Oh my
I'm not that bad of an alcoholic. Yeah.
Kids program. I am. No,
It's not 40 ounce. Yeah.
40 ounce of Mountain Valley.
Old English. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Dude, if we brought 40s in here, I'm sure they'd have something to say about that. You know, like give us one.
Right. Yeah. No, sorry, but you were saying about philosophy.
Yeah, so like tell me what you think about this. Like, at least in my life, like anytime I ever got anything I ever wanted, it was always different than what I thought it would be. You know?
What would be a good example?
Well, okay. So when I started down this entertainment road, having made a bunch of paintings,
Yeah.
I knew like 2 songs, and I had like half a shitty story. And I'd look at these guys that could, you know, book a music gig by themselves, and I'd ask like how long the gigs were, and they'd say 3 hours. So I'm like, Jesus Christ, that seems insurmountable, you know. And now that I'm there, I do those gigs.
Right.
You know, huge pat on the back. But there is no like crossing the finish line.
Crossing the finish line.
It's
Yeah.
just, okay, you're here. You still have to do all of that stuff that you did to get to this point, just more so.
Right.
You know? Like it really is eat what you kill all the way up. There is no like, if I do this, then everything's fine.
Right.
It's just, you know.
Well, that's kind of like the art of. Are you familiar with people like philosophers like Alan Watts? British philosophy. He was a philosopher back in like the 60s and 70s.
Maybe.
But people like him would talk about living the present moment, as opposed for constantly chasing happiness and chasing pleasure.
Okay, so yeah, living in the present moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean like okay, so I was gonna bring that up too. Is like one of the things that doing this show has helped me with is acknowledging, like, and this is gonna sound kind of disgusting, but like acknowledging in the moment when something is clippable. What is a memorable moment of this thing I'm experiencing? And whenever that happens, you know, I press a button to revisit it, you know, and then like the next day after I've already forgotten about it, I get to look back and edit it and be like, oh yeah, that did happen, you know. And fuck, it's loud in here. Damn, son. Anyway, that's alright.
At least we get a free Ozzy Osborne tribute, because he passed away today. Right?
Oh my gosh.
R.I.P. Ozzy, by the way.
Alright, and what's
what a
the
legend.
story there?
So
All right.
what are they playing right now? It's Mama, I'm Coming Home.
I'm coming home.
I
Yeah.
don't think if they can hear it or not. It's probably louder than our conversation, honestly.
They can probably hear it.
But-
Yeah, the tripod is on the ground, and it's
Good.
definitely going up through the thing.
Good.
Fuck.
It's all right. It's all good. Yeah.
They're not nailing it. We won't get hit for copyright infringement. But like, so who's the most inspirational musician that you've ever seen within the last year?
Within the last year.
Yeah.
Would you say like locally, like a
No.
like a local musician, or just like celebrity?
What's the best show you've been to in the last year?
Well, I went to the Sphere last year and saw Dead and Company. Which I know there's a lot of the Grateful Dead haters out there.
Was that with?
I could go see like Hanston at the Sphere, and it'd be the best show of my life.
Sure.
Like that venue is life changing.
Well, dude,
It's a totally new experience to see like a band. Like the band is secondary to the visual odyssey that it takes you on. It's literally a journey through
the
time and
VJ
space.
is more important than the drummer.
Right.
At that point.
Yeah. But it was. But John Mayer was playing, so like as a guitar player, I have mad respect for John Mayer.
Dude, John Mayer's so good. I wrote a joke about him. Like,
okay.
All right, so like,
Let's hear it.
as a musician, like, you know, there's levels you get to. All right, a lot of people get into it so that they can meet girls. All right, but once you're at the level that you can meet girls, you realize that there's a level past that.
Yeah.
Where like you can get
Definitely.
so good on stage that everybody who goes to the show gets laid too. You know? And I don't even like John
I know
Mayer.
what you mean. Yeah.
You know, but that's money well spent. You know, like
No, I mean you're right though. It's like
you can get laid watching John Mayer. Like that's how good he is.
They call it an eargasm.
Yeah.
Where you get like goosebumps. It's just so beautiful, like the sound they create.
I only ever get
creates,
that
like, a state of
whenever
bliss.
I only ever get that whenever I'm like on stage.
When you're on stage, not from watching a show. Yeah.
Well, I could tell by the photographs of myself. You know, the biggest smiles I got are whenever. Doesn't matter how the thing's going necessarily.
Well, I agree. I mean, watching a show and creating a show is a completely different experience.
Well, that was
and
my
it's
whole-
a completely different kind of like reward, gratification.
And the risk of sounding kind of like a douchebag, it's like I go to these shows and I'd always find myself, maybe jealous is the right word, but it's like I'd want to be involved.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like being in the front with all the other people was just, I don't know, not enough.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, and now that I'm on the other side of that curtain, again, to wrap it up with the point we started on, is like, it's just another job.
Mm-hmm.
It just turns into normal. You know, if you drive a Ferrari to work every day, that's just the car you drive. You know, what do you do to, like, keep it going? And that's why, like, I don't know. That's why, like, I think, like, the whole if-then type of thinking is destructive, because, you know, people talk about making it, and it's like, if I hustle up and, like, literally sell myself for a gig, and that is the experience, it's just me in the corner with a microphone. My brother and my nephews and his wife, they all came out to an open mic one night, and it was just like regular ass family dinner, except that, what's up, Bobby?
What up? Do you know you're next?
Oh, fuck.
Do you not want to be next? Do you want me to move you down a little?
I could do it. I was probably just going to do comedy. I'm a little, if you could move me down
I
some.
can move you down a little.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Was that y'all playing the Ozzy? Was that you?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it was Charlie with Dead Evans.
Okay. Were you playing with it? It sounded good. We could hear it through the wall. Yeah.
You hear everything,
It's coming through
actually.
You
clear.
hear everything. This is going to be a good podcast.
This is going to be a technically challenging podcast.
You're going to have some background stuff from Tuesday night open mic at Meteor Guitar Gallery.
Well, I was telling Stan, I was like, so long as I don't nail it 100% perfect, then we won't get nailed for copyright infringements.
Oh, yeah.
But,
You're
you
safe.
know, if you did, that'd be compliments to you.
Well, you didn't start when I played, so, you know.
Oh, yeah, we missed that,
You're
yeah.
probably safe.
I was performing comedy for a pizza place. Yeah.
But you bring up a good point though about like doing it for the right reason and not just to make it big, make it fit. Like, obviously that'd be a great cherry on top. But for me, like the key to my success as a musician was just playing for myself initially when I was younger, like wanting to be as good as I possibly can, just for my own just fulfillment and entertainment. Like I would practice for hours in my room, not because like I had the desire I have to be famous or I have to be in a big band.
It wasn't
I
because
have
you
to make
were
money.
like,
I have to make. I never saw myself making money doing
you weren't
it.
the dog chasing the car. You know, you were just a dog running.
Right.
You know.
And if you have fun, if you have like legitimate, authentic fun doing it, eventually you get in front of an audience, and the audience will see you having fun on stage, and then that's how they have fun.
Well,
if you're up there just faking it, doing it for the wrong reason, a lot of times the audience can see through that, and it's kind of like, okay.
Well, yeah, no, and that's exactly this. in a comedy parlance, I guess I could say, it's like you get points for authenticity. You know? Like, that's why the guy wearing the barrel is the coolest guy if he shreds. Because he doesn't care about the fact that he's wearing nothing. You know?
Yeah.
It's just, he's up there. And if you could tell that he'd be up there whether or not you were there, and you happen to be there, that's, you know, that's where, ironically enough, that's where the money, you know, like,
Well, that's why some of my favorite comedians are just up there just like shooting the shit and not like putting on an act. I know a lot of good comedians put on an act, but like one of my favorite comedians is George Carlin.
sure.
He'll go up there and you can just tell that guy is just straight dropping truth bombs and just being himself.
It's all bullshit.
He's raw, yeah.
Big
He's a little too much at times, but
Yeah, that's like, yeah. That is one of my biggest fears is like, an artist, is that like, I don't explicitly want to become an activist.
right.
You know?
I have retired from social media politics. I know like everyone goes through a phase, especially during the pandemic. And this past election cycle,
Pandemic was a bad time.
especially.
Let me tell you the joke that got me banned from the local comedy scene.
Okay.
So like, it was at a time where everybody was talking about diversity, and it's like, this is Northwest Arkansas. We just let black people go to school like 10 years ago, you know? And I'd be saying shit like this on stage, looking the way that I do, you know?
Yeah.
And you get, you know, pigeonholed, put into a corner, and it's like, all right, well, if you're gonna make an enemy out of somebody that otherwise didn't have to be an enemy, I'll be whoever you hate, you know? Because, like, for me, all right, so, like, comedically, my performances started, like, accelerating. My performances got better whenever I basically burnt every bridge that I could.
Really?
Yeah, like,
You
as soon as
didn't care anymore, or what?
yeah, and that's what it was. Like, well, it's like, all right, I'm at this open mic trying to jerk off in front of a bunch of people that I've already jerked off in front of before, you know, and there's nothing that I can say or do to make those guys like me enough to book me for a show that I already know now I don't fucking want, you know? It's like, make me drive to fucking Spring fucking Field for $7 on a Friday night.
Right.
Don't pay me the $7. I'm gonna remember that for the rest of my life, you know? So like, I'm out of people to impress. I'm just up here to have fun by myself. And everybody respects me for being
yourself,
fearless, because I'm willing to do some stuff that a bunch of other pussies won't, for lack of a better term.
I have a lot of respect.
Sorry to all the pussies at home. You know, like.
Yeah, no, I mean, but talk about having courage. Because at least as a guitar
not courage.
Well, as a guitar player, at least I can go on stage and hide behind my guitar. As a comic, you're up there with just a microphone, very raw, very vulnerable. You almost feel like naked.
You don't have anything, and
nothing to hide.
Yeah.
Nothing to hide behind.
Yeah, and once you give up completely, emotionally, then you can start. You know, my buddy Keith Terry, it says like, to really succeed at this, you have to give up everything. And I was like, you know, I already kind of mostly did that whenever I tried to go full time as a painter. I don't have much more shit to give up, you know. And yeah, like, once you really don't give a fuck, you actually get more points for it.
In life in general, too. I mean, obviously it's important to have goals and discipline. I'm not saying don't do that. But as far as, like, attracting people in your circle, like friends, partners, just like that nonchalant energy of, just whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to force or control an outcome here. People are drawn to that kind of energy.
Well, this is what it is.
People feel safe around that, and they can kind of be themselves.
Well, and you know, let's go a little bit deeper into that. Why do you think that is? Is it because most people are afraid to be themselves? You know,
I think so. Yeah.
Like, are you willing to concede that, like, Dead and Company, all of those dudes were just regular guys jerking off in a basement that one day made a decision.
Taking a bunch of acid.
And then fucking stuck to it. Well, okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
I did that too. Funny part about that, oh my gosh, I did so much of that. But like,
Tell me about it.
well,
We got time. How much time we got?
well, we got all kinds of time.
Yeah.
Do you okay? So like, once upon a time,
I believe psychedelics can be very, very therapeutic in the right context. Yeah.
sure. Well, the thing I like about psychedelics is okay. So like, we were doing our homework. We were on heroin. We were like, Bitcoin was $5 a coin. If you adjust for inflation, we probably put millions of dollars up our noses.
Silk Road.
Yes.
Yeah. Back in those days. Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I feel like of all the people that went to those parties, the most well-adjusted people was everybody who was taking the shit. You know, everybody who was like, you know, they're getting their first divorce shit now. You know, like, I was never burdened by that. And the other thing is, like, we're looking at the side effects of everything we're taking. I'm looking at what Terrence McKenna has to say about it.
Terrence McKenna. Yeah.
You know, think about Terrence
That guy's a
McKenna.
pioneer. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the thing that he said that I thought was kind of profound, and this is kind of where I'm at now, whereas, like, psychedelics is like the phone's ringing, all right? And you can pick up the phone, but the message is the same.
Eventually, you gotta hang up the phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he said. Yeah.
Yep.
And I feel like I'm at the hanging up the phone.
Right.
Because,
Right.
like, I took it every day for like 30 days straight. Because I worked in a head shop.
Oh, that's right. Well, yeah. Okay.
So I worked in a head shop.
You rehearsed in a dispensary, but then you also worked in a head shop. It was a separate.
No. This was before.
Way before that. Okay.
Yeah, before there was dispensaries, I was at a head shop.
Okay.
And the thing I would profile the piss out of everybody. You know, we had this customer rewards program, and whenever somebody come in, like a street entrepreneur, wearing $150 ripped jeans with like a $120 like base necker tank top printed jersey,
Base necker, yeah.
you know, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
like, hey man, what kind of music are you into? Would you like to sign up for a rewards program? All I need is a phone number and a blah, 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 you know, and then, you know, I'd have like a database of all the local dealers.
Okay.
So the way that I would shop with those guys
Yeah.
is I'd go over to the trap house with like $300 in my pocket, and I'd look around the room and see if they did the math right, you know. And if everybody's eyes indicated that it was their birthday, I'm gonna buy whatever the fuck that is, you know. One day they fucked up the measurement on like, right?
Oh wow.
So I got a half vial. It was actually like double strength. That
Holy cow.
so
Yeah.
it's like anyway, and it was like, you know, a little dram bottle, and I'd keep it in the coin pocket of my thing, and then, because like, when we were first opening up the store, I had to work every day.
Was it here in Fayetteville or in
Yeah.
Arkansas?
It was in Fayetteville.
What head shop was it?
Onyx.
Which one was that? I'm just curious.
It was the one on MLK and
Okay.
the interstate, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, I mean, the point is just like, you know, it's like, well, fuck, if I'm gonna work every day, I'm also gonna have a weekend every day, you know? And then, like, every day at, like, you know, 6 or 7 o'clock, I myself.
Like
and,
at work?
yeah.
Just to kind of help
Well,
you
so that
enjoy the
it
day?
sets in by the time
Yeah.
that it closes, and I ride my bike out to the darkness.
Oh, okay. So you'll be getting off work whenever it kicked in.
Yes, that's the idea.
Yeah. Well,
One time I fucked up and I had kind of an interesting interaction with one of our customers. And it's like I had to like consciously control the sound of my own voice.
Oh wow.
Hey sir, how you doing?
Good luck with that. That doesn't go too well usually.
No, I pulled it off. Point is I was doing this every day, fully expecting every Catholic school dare program horror story to befall me. Waiting for the hammer to drop. Never did, you know? That business has been running for 9 years now, you know?
Wow.
Not only did it not fail, we succeeded.
Yeah.
And I had a fucking great time.
You definitely had a great time.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
And,
Do you feel like taking like psychedelics like that has left a lasting imprint on your like perspective of the world, your personality in a positive way, or in a way at all? Because for some people, it can, especially like ayahuasca, like plant medicine particularly.
I've done that one time.
It can. You have?
yeah, it was like pill form. And,
Oh, that's
like,
not the.
and
no,
they did it with like the worst fucking people.
That doesn't count. Yeah.
Well, okay, so it kind of counts because, like, if the lighting was right, you could
Well, it's like a
this
liquid. Usually you
snake.
drink it and you,
Sure,
you
and
vomit.
then you puke, and then you shit your pants, and then you got some stinky hippies dancing around you in Peru. All right, yeah, no, I wouldn't. This is.
That's the only way to do
This
it.
is me and my homies in a basement, and no, the group of people that I was tripping ayahuasca around, like, okay, it was the worst group imaginable. Like,
But you felt it though with a pill.
yeah, totally.
Okay.
So like, I'm staring at a pillow that's this far away, and all my roommates got home. All right, and these are the guys that are not fun to trip with, because I was tripping sack, and roommates come in, they're drunker than piss, drunk, and I would say some
So
quasi.
definitely a bad setting for a trip like that. Yeah.
It was frustrating.
Because they say trying to control your environment, make it as positive and chill as possible, but
Well,
it's kind of counter. Yeah.
I feel like you can control your mood. For me, I don't like to have plans because, like, if I have plans, it just seems like an opportunity to be disappointed. If I show up to an area with no expectation whatsoever, then any fun that I have at all is just extra. So my drunk roommates come home, fuck they're loud, and we'll see if this works.
Did it did it end well?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was fine.
Yeah.
It was just like, there was one part where I was staring at the pillow this far away, saying some quasi-profound shit, like, the closer you get to everything, the bigger it gets, and then my drunk roommates would be like, fucking duh,
Some of the revelations.
And I'm like,
on
no,
that,
it's a metaphor, fuck!
But speaking of like hippies and that kind of counterculture, one of the best jokes I ever saw you write, which is so simple. It was something that you posted on like social media.
It was a
like,
Facebook
it
joke.
was like
Everybody who believes in sacred geometry.
that one. That was my favorite one. That was so good.
Anybody who believes in sacred geometry doesn't know regular geometry.
No, it was something like, before you talk about sacred geometry, make sure you can do real geometry.
Yeah.
Because every one of us in this kind of culture, this scene, is probably known like a wook or a hippie who can't even like make their bed, but they'll tell you all about sacred geometry, the Fibonacci sequence. It's like, okay, that's great. That's just awesome.
So,
but like, do you even know?
After I smoked for like the first time, going in beforehand, I would have told you I'm an atheist. And then after coming out of it, I was like, I don't know.
Really?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Well, like, imagine you're Moses and you smoked DMT, and you saw an angel.
The burning bush.
Something otherworldly, telling you common sense shit, like don't fuck animals, that's his wife, stuff like that, regular shit. That, imagine trying to explain to a person who is designed to go find food and find their way home this otherworldly thing. You sound like a maniac. And I think that, like, church just in general are the clothes that, like, these big ideas wear so that people can perceive their existence.
Right.
What happens with, like, regular people is it's the same thing with anything else. It's like, you take a good idea, and then because we're human, we'll turn it into, like, a dirty fucking business.
A business, exactly. Or a system of control, population. Yeah.
Or like,
exactly.
most recently, like some kind of signaling thing.
Like a virtue signal, or what do you mean?
Yeah. You turn it into like some way to reinforce your status over your fellow man.
A lot of Christians fall into that trap. I mean, I was raised in the church.
Yeah.
And so I've seen how that can be. Yeah, you kind of have this like self-righteous, I'm holier than thou because I'm going to go. Even with, I've been on mission trips, and mission trips can be the best thing ever.
Totally.
But even then, it's like, like the white savior comp. We're going to go to this like third world country and like proclaim our message is better than what you have. But
you guys can't find water. You poor.
I mean, and think how many? Yeah, exactly.
Where was the mission to?
I've been to Honduras.
Oh, okay.
Which it was a lot of fun. It was a great experience.
Honduras is getting fucked up right now. I don't know if you watch the other news. So like the cartel's taking over the beef production, and right now there's a bunch of illegal beef getting sold with these worms that just tunnel through people. They start anywhere they can get India, and then usually end up in your brain.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like the first year that kind of thing has been like, it's like a Last of Us plot.
So brain worms, what you're referring to, huh?
I mean, there was just regular body worms.
Yeah.
They eat
I remember
anything.
supposedly RFK Jr. had a brain worm. That was supposed to be a disqualifying thing for him.
First off, that's one of the reasons I don't want to become an activist. Those guys get shot.
Right?
Your last name's Kennedy. You got a magnet for bullets. Like, that is just tough, dude. Like this.
Yeah.
All the members of my family.
Right. You got a magnet for bullets or for blackmail opportunities with Jeffrey Epstein.
Well,
I don't know if that's true or not, but that's kind of the hot topic right now. It's like the Jeffrey Epstein client list.
I don't even like talking about that shit, and I'll tell you why. Like,
you can't prove anything.
Well, the read between the lines thing with the whole Epstein thing is like, you mean to tell me that billionaires don't want to be held accountable for what they do?
Right.
And then if I was going to play devil's advocate, I'd say, like, what's the point of being rich? What's the point? What's the point of dominating the whole earth if you can't literally do anything you want? If you can't kill anybody that you want, if you can't, like, what's the point? You're not standing in line as much, that's a reason. That's why I got into entertainment, actually. If I'm honest with myself, it's that when I see a bunch of people, like, standing in line for the show and I walk right past them into the back door, like, that is my heroin.
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
It keeps you going. Yeah, that's more fulfilling than anything else you can find.
I'm a queen in that regard. Yeah, totally. Like, not that that's what I live for. It's just very, very, very nice.
Yeah.
And then, take that feeling that I have and expound it into, why can't I do blank? Kill somebody when a journalist, Yeah. But I mean, even if nothing bad comes out, I'm not going to be crying about it.
Right.
Because the truth is something that seems pretty common sense to me, And I'll say this, like, religious extremism, whatever flavor that it comes in, those are guys that I can't hang out with. Like, there's a...
Yeah, well, it depends on how you define extremism. I know some really nice Mormons. Like, I think the Mormon religion, I have nothing to do with it. But I've met some Mormons who are nice people. Same with, like, fundamentalist Christians. But then again, like, if you're an extremist and you're, like, a racist Christian or something like that,
well, like, let's
agree
create our own definition here. Like,
what
is extremist? It is when I am harming another person in the name of, blank.
Harming. That's the
dirty business part. Like, that's where, like, and that's why I don't say that, like, I don't know. I mean, I got raised Catholic.
Same,
Seems like Jesus.
Where'd you go to school? Catholic church.
I grew up in Minnesota.
Okay. Yeah. I went to St. Raphael's here in Springdale, actually. Yeah.
I went to Catholic elementary, Catholic middle, and Catholic high school.
Okay,
Shout
I
out
didn't
to
go to
Crusaders.
school.
It didn't take totally. I'm not a dick, and you guys did teach me how to do stuff.
Catholics do drink, though. They know how to party.
Well, okay.
My whole family on my mom's side, they're from Wisconsin. They were all Catholics.
Oh, well, that's more Wisconsin than anything.
Yeah, well, that's true. It's a combination of the two. Being from up north and being Catholic.
But in Wisconsin, they don't have a limit on DUIs. They don't.
There's no limit?
No.
There's none. It's encouraged.
There's old ladies walking around with like 30 of them.
So they incentivize you just to drink and drive.
I don't know if they incentivize. I mean, that's gaming the system. That's you being a sinner.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's, one of those things. But,
so you went from being a Catholic to being an atheist to taking DMT, and then believing in God or believing in a higher power. How would you explain that?
I guess, like, for lack of a better term, I guess I'd just call it a higher power.
Yeah.
All I know is that, like, it would be totally fine with me that there is some force beyond our animal understanding that we can't conceive.
Right.
And the last thing that I'm going to do is try to sell you some shit like I actually know what it is.
Right, exactly.
And then further than that...
There's some money to be made, though, that you're leaving on the table. Maybe you could.
Well, absolutely I could. That's how most cults start. And I was talking about this with my dad. It's like, a cult is like, you got like a Jesus-like guy. Everybody loves him. Having a party. It's a good time. And then eventually, with cults, he ends up trying to just bang all the ladies.
Right.
And that's when the fucking federal government comes in and tears your shit up. Like,
right. Yep.
Yeah. And that's like, in a microcosm, that's what I don't like about comedy. That's what I don't like about music. That's what I don't like about religion. That's what I don't like about business. It's like... It's,
like which part of it? The cult aspect of those?
It's the... Things? Yeah. It's
or the business aspect of it.
The manifestation of the ego...
Yes.
...into making somebody else the other.
Making somebody else the other.
I'm the rock star. I'm the fuck. You're just a blank. Like that. That to me just. Because.
Well, that's for me why being in cover bands is very humbling. Because I know nobody cares about what I'm just playing other people's songs, so I don't have any reason to be like egotistical about what I'm doing.
Well.
So it's been very humbling to just like, okay.
I mean, I'm sure
I'm just doing this for the experience.
I'm sure a lot of the songs that you're playing are like technically hard, and I'll also say this is like, even though it's not your stuff, you are enabling. So for like dial-up, right? Mm-hmm. Certain type of person comes to the show, right? Like you're enabling them to indulge in their own nostalgia, and you're getting paid to do so. Like that's, unless you really wanted to be, Johnny Big Hat, and, and tell them how things like. That's fine.
Yeah. No, I mean it's definitely I've been a blessing. I can't complain. But it's been we all joke about how, in fact, we all kind of like make fun of like the rock star ego, like persona, like the vocalist who like never shows on. He was never on time for a load in. Or, like the vocalist who like wait on the tour bus the whole time. We always like play these like fake personas, like making fun of like that like archetype, like the.
It is funny how those
like the lead guitar
definitely
player
exist.
Like the lead guitar player who's just like noodling the whole time during sound check, and
yeah. It's kind of funny that the things that the stereotypes that exist in like music, but like I've trusted my gut every time. Partly because I've already had an impacted ass load full of like musicians. Like trying to start a band is like trying to have 4 girlfriends at the same time.
It's tough.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Are you cold? Are you hungry? Is everything good? For me, like the reason I got not that I got out of music. I mean, I'll always do it. Like the reason I got out of like trying to start a band was because the group of people that I was playing with at the time, the music that we made was beautiful, but we'd have to basically jerk off in a basement for 5 hours to get 30 minutes of it. And then the fucking guitar player would drop out a week before, and it's like, all right, now it's time to get into comedy. I didn't tell anybody I did it for 2 years because I knew that I sucked, and it's like comedy and music are like 1-to-1. The difference is that your instrument is not an instrument, all right? How many people do you know that play guitar for 2 years and start talking about so-and-so getting booked because of any fucking reason, And I think it's because, like, it's the perception. It's like when somebody sees somebody just standing there talking into a microphone, they don't see somebody that put all their time in. They see somebody, like, and when you see somebody doing kind of like a piss poor job of Wonderwall, and they've never played guitar before, you don't suddenly think that you can play guitar. Like good stand-up comedy looks easy, and bad stand-up comedy looks totally effortless. So like with music, I feel like, especially with the solo singer-songwriter thing, one guitar, one voice, all at once type of deal, Like, I feel like the built-in protection against that is the fact that it's pretty hard to pretend 2 years into playing hot cross buns that some guy ripping Peter Gabriel, like that's, you can't pretend
Right.
that you know how to do that better than he does.
Right.
Even if it's not technically perfect, So, yeah. I mean, that's why, like, the cliche is overnight success after 10 years,
Or 10,000 hours is like the theory that you put 10,000 hours into anything and you become a master. Is that how much time? How much time do you put into, like, for your comedy? Do you spend time like practicing or writing, or is a lot of it just kind of just trial and error through doing gigs and?
That's what I'm saying. Like, there is no practicing. You just have to do it, and that is the practice. So, like, with stage fright, like, if you have stage fright as a musician,
I still have stage fright. It's gotten way better. It gets better and better as I get older.
So tell me what you think about this. I mean, I don't know if this is an original idea, but, like, as a musician, you get stage fright if you're not prepared. For me, it's like,
that's true.
For me, it's like, the stage fright that you get is the result of public executions. See, because entertainment for the last 2,000 years was that. And the last thing that you saw before you got hung was the town square looking at you. And if you think that people are empathetic creatures, then anytime you look at anytime the whole town's, that's why people fear public speaking more than they do death.
Interesting.
So, it's just my theory.
I mean,
I mean, I think it's a pretty good one. But, no, like, for me, playing music, for example, like playing those first couple songs at the open mic, I'm nervous, naturally.
You are, yeah.
But, if I beat the shit out of this song in my living room at home practicing 10,000 times or whatever, like, I'm either going to get to a point 30 seconds within the song where I remember that, or I didn't do that. And then it stays.
Yep.
Either the world will turn into my living room, so to say.
Right.
Or I haven't put enough time in to make that happen.
That's a good point. So preparation kind of helps ease that anxiety.
And with comedy, it was like, it was probably like 2 years ago now. I was at the Hollywood Improv. I was about to perform in front of a guy that I'd been listening to since I was like 11 years old. And his comedy, like, Alonzo Bowden, shout out, sorry for that DM that one time. But, I had the same thought. I'm like staring at him like, fuck, this is the Hollywood Improv. They got a snake built into the floor. It's got like a flip-up electric cover, dude. It is nice. And, I'm shitting my pants. There's all kinds of people here. And then I thought, like, well, my leg's shaking, all this crap. I want it to go well. But what I thought about in that moment was the worst gig that I ever had. That's my version of preparation. It was no way it'll go worse than that one time I drove to Little Rock to perform for 2 people. One of them was high on meth, was louder than the PA, would respond to anything you said into the microphone. The host was blind. He couldn't tell what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
And that's what...
So it's all relative to that, yeah.
Well, that's kind of the difference.
Point.
I mean, like, preparation is preparation.
Yeah.
It's just that if comedy is like guitar, then comedy is the guitar that you can only play for 5 minutes at a time, any given night. Sometimes like once a week here, and it only, you can only play it if everybody in the room agrees that you can play it. That's where you get your practice.
Right.
And unless you put yourself knowingly or unknowingly into uncomfortable situations, then you're going to get the fear whenever you go into a situation that is Well, whenever you go into something that's more significant than that.
Yeah, because I'm sure half the battle is obviously being funny, like coming up with funny, witty jokes, but then the delivery is the other part. You got to have the confidence and the charisma and the personality to do it.
Mm.
Because it's one thing to, like, intellectually think of a funny joke,
I'll
but then
agree with that.
to deliver it is a whole different thing.
That's
If
fine.
you're up there and you're nervous and you're shaking, which that's got to be tough.
That's natural. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, finding your voice, you know. Imagine you went out for free for years and got, you know, emotionally just kicked in the balls over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Eventually, you're going to get a callus in your balls, you know, and then you just don't care anymore.
Right.
And you're either going to like this or you don't. And that's where, I don't know if that's like authenticity like we were talking about before, or
Yeah.
if that's like finding your voice, or like, or some combination of the two. But like, people respond to a lack of fear,
A lack of fear.
you know, like,
Authenticity, exactly.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Because it makes them come off their guard, like the audience.
right, you can bring them on the ride, so to
Bring
say.
them on the road.
Yeah. And that's the whole idea, you know. Like,
For any show, whether it's music or comedy, which I think comedy and humor is one of the most. They call it like a medicine, right? Like laughter is like essentially. I mean, who doesn't love to laugh? I mean, everybody has a different.
it is kept
Everyone
me.
has different ideas of what is funny,
It is-
but we all agree that laughter is probably like one of the best feelings in the world.
It has
Pure joy.
It's people like it. I think that's
Yeah.
like a uniquely human thing.
Yes.
But having, well, not but like, I don't know, like having done comedy for a while, especially like as somebody who can, well, who's into music, there's a rhythm. Like, I worked the soundboard over at the Grove, the comedy club locally.
Yeah.
And I did that for like 2 years for $20 and a sandwich, and shot the bill. And every once in a while, you'd see these guys come through, and I could tell, based on their comedy, that they were musicians. This
Really?
guy one time, Greg Hahn, he gets off stage, and I was like, "Were you a drummer?" And he was like, "Yeah." "How'd you know?" And I was like, "Oh, that's how your bits play out."
Really, it's the rhythm. Interesting.
Well,
Well, a lot of musicians, comedians, or vice versa, are like Jimmy Fallon, great comedian, pretty good musician.
really?
I mean, yeah. Have you
I
seen?
don't know that
Have you
about
seen, have
Jimmy
you seen
Fallon.
his Neil Young impersonation? It's spot on.
No, I hadn't.
Adam Sandler. I mean, I wouldn't say he's a great musician, but he can play guitar. Like the Hanukkah song.
Okay.
The Hanukkah song, right?
Interesting
That's
thing.
hilarious.
I
Yeah.
heard that. Okay, I can't substantiate this at all, but I heard that like,
Jack Black is a great example too.
what were those bands that were like popular at the time when like Adam Sandler, he wanted to be like one of these butt rock guys.
Oh, I don't know.
He wanted to
Adam Sandler did?
he wanted to be a rocker harder than anything else, and because he couldn't, he did something.
Well, I don't know, but I'll tell you this: growing up, one of my biggest influences, maybe not influence the musician, but one of my most obsessive favorite artists was Weird Al.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that just blew my mind that someone could be that talented musically and
And
that
silly.
freaking hilarious at the same time. I used to have all of his like Bad Hair Day, Running with Scissors. Were you a Weird Al fan growing up?
Yeah.
Yeah, polka, like the polka
Eat it.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that to me is like true genius. Like being able to fuse comedy with music.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, okay, so, and this is my own ego.
Okay.
Is that I want to be funny and do serious songs. Like, nobody gives John Prine any credit for being hilarious. But if you look at any of his like live performances, he's in the round. He's got a story for everything he's about
Really?
to play.
Yeah. Uh huh.
There's parts where everybody laughs, and then he makes you cry, and then it goes right back into the. Like that's
Interesting.
that's
So-
what he does with the
Yeah.
audience, from what I
So he can
tell.
turn off that like jokester part of his brain and then switch into a more serious
Well,
personality.
it also, like, whenever he does talk, it lends a little bit to his songs, because like some of the lyrics that he uses are kind of goofy, occasionally. You know?
Yeah.
Like he's really just, you know, like if authenticity was that's John Prine.
John Prine.
Yeah. Like
I haven't listened to much John Prine, but I've heard people say that Jesse Wells reminds him of John Prine.
Well,
Bob Dylan, like that, those kind of those folk guys back in the day.
Yeah, and Jesse Wells, goddammit, like,
and he's funny too. And
he is.
Some of his songs.
Well,
he's very serious, but he can make some funny.
He was involved
funny
with
songs.
He was involved with the comedy scene before I got involved.
Jesse was?
Yeah, like right before he popped, he asked me to jam, and I never took him up on it. But he came to one of my open mics one night. I'm like, oh, you do comedy? I'm like, yeah, try. You know, he's like, oh, still a huge bitch. And I was like, yes. Oh my God, it wasn't just me. She's been like that for years. Yeah. Actually, I kind of feel like she pushed him out of doing that to become who he is. You know, accidentally doing the world a service.
Right.
Not that he wasn't fucking hilarious. It's just that, you know, the guy's killing it right now.
Yeah. But would you call him an activist, or would you call him just like a musician?
I don't know. I got a whole thing about like.
'Cause you said you don't like particularly like being an activist or activist. How would you?
I think it's kind of diabolical that he, anytime something big happens on the news, he's got a song about it. Right then. I just, you know, I don't have time to be that pissed off about everything all the time. You know, like, I don't.
Thankfully, somebody like him has the time to do it for us, and then we can listen to it and say, okay, wow, that's on point.
Philosophically, it's like I don't want to be pissed off.
Well,
much.
In a way, like the music kind of helps you. Like his music helps you get the message without being pissed off. It's like he's able to present it in a way that's funny, or entertaining, or joyful. It's wow, we're singing about.
Well, think of it.
He's singing about a possible World War III with Iran, but it's hilarious.
Sure.
So it kind of takes you off your guard, and it's okay. That's not. We can talk about that.
Sure,
it's not
but
a big deal.
You know, think of the news as like a business, right? Your idea is to make everybody scared.
Yeah.
And sell
fearmonger.
And sell Pepsi, right? Sponsored by Pepsi.
Yeah.
It's better than Coke.
Sponsored by
Pfizer.
Is that
right?
Are we gonna get demonetized for that?
You probably. I'm gonna put a marker on there again. Sponsored by Jergens. You can use it on your knees too. I don't love the idea, just for myself, of consuming a bunch of toxic shit all the time, to then try to turn that into something different. That, you know, like I don't, like, it's like I open up my phone and like on Facebook, it's just like the Ark of the Covenant. It's just.
I think it's one of your turns.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, go for it, man. We can.
They put someone on in front of you.
All right.
But you're.
All right. Got a 10-minute warning here. I don't know if any of this audio is usable, but we're sitting up.
Well, it's been fun, man. Yeah, go.
Oh, we've been an hour 5 now. We got a minute.
Okay.
Unless I hear my name. Conrad? I'll go up there.
But I know what you mean. Like right now it's July 2025. Ever since like November, the last election, I've pretty much totally checked out of politics. And not that I don't care, because like I'm very, very passionate
not that I don't
about
care.
social justice.
It's
just human rights, 100%. But I just gotta protect my own.
I'm not gonna say
mental health and focus on what I want to accomplish, and that kind of stuff. Getting caught up in it with like the AI algorithms is targeting us trying to make us more pissed off.
Do you expect me to get fired up about the Epstein shit when billionaires have just been doing whatever the fuck they wanted the entire time?
Right.
Like, I got rent, you know, like, and at risk of sounding callous, like, you know, I mean, like, okay, here's another thing. Like, I have a friend who's a ophthalmologist, optometrist, optical surgeon. Motherfucker performs.
Say that 10 times fast.
He performs like cataract surgeries, right? So you got like people in this town. They're like, no, we're throwing a party for Gaza. And I'm like, thank God I'm booked. You know, versus I don't have to seem like an asshole that I am. Versus like this guy. So this guy was upset about all this shit that was going on. He went to fucking Gaza.
Somebody you know went to Gaza.
Went to Gaza. Found
fighting the good fight.
Found
Literally.
an old piece of machinery, and then healed the sick. And gave sight back to people. In a bombed out, like missiles are falling, like buildings shaking at times. He's got some piece of shit from the 80s. He's doing surgery pro bono for anybody who's still alive. That guy is an activist.
Like he's actually doing real change.
He's
going
there.
to the front lines,
right?
Saving lives.
He's not going to the park with a sign trying to get laid like everybody else.
But like what it is mostly is just keyboard warriors. And like I think we're all guilty of falling into that trap. We talked about it earlier.
Well, I think the problem with activism is that hot chicks, you need to quit acting like you're doing shit. All right, you're not. You're just hot. All right, quit going to protests. Quit acting like this whole thing's about something else when it's really about you, and just be into yourselves. Because that way we get fewer, cucks like myself going out to try to like bone you, putting on a goofy hat, getting like fucking up a park.
Well, and you mentioned like virtue signaling
in the name of
It's almost for some people it can become more about just a virtue signal. Instead of an actual attempt to make real change.
At risk of sounding like not to bring race into it, but white women, Bopper, my little sister, they're the worst at it. Like, you guys have the best life ever. You're just gonna focus on terrible shit all day.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can help it. Like my girlfriend's, here we go. My girlfriend's like, she loves to just fall asleep to listening to other people get murdered. And I don't like that shit. Obviously it's real. I don't need to know about every single person that stubbed their fucking toe. What does that do for me?
But if you can prevent one person from stubbing their toe, wouldn't you though? If you could make the change.
Depends who it was. Dude. No.
If you could save one toe out there.
Why do toes exist?
Isn't it worth it? Yeah.
Well, depends on the toe. But I have had, at least in my career as an entertainer, there have been a handful of moments where I've had to like step outside of it and be like, oh, it's bigger than you. Like one time, performing at it was Mojo's at the time. Shout out to Waystone. And a little black kid comes up staring at me and like, give him one of these. And then I'm doing comedy at Trailside. Little kid, hey man, I saw you at Mojo's. I'm like, oh shit. Hell yeah, dude. Dude, I loved it. That was so cool. And I'm like, hell yeah, dude. What's your name? Deuce, Put her here, Deuce, I got recognized by a kid. That felt good by itself. Flash forward to like 6 months after that, there's one comedian talking about is like, oh, I'm working this rap festival and none of the other comedians are working. And I'm like, fuck if that's the case, So I got booked just to spite this kid at this rap festival. And then he ended up dropping out. So I'm the only comedian at the rap festival. And before I get up on stage, who do I see but Lil Deuce? He's fucking rapping.
Really?
He's getting up there. And then, we got to do the reverse of what, the experience that I had at Mojo's. And I was like, fuck. That, to me, that felt really good. Not because it was a kid recognizing me, but just because it felt like I actually existed.
Right.
Right. I actually made a difference in one person's life. Just trying to jack myself off.
So I'm trying to listen to your story while also not being distracted by this Kurt Cobain.
Criticize. Yeah, they are very loud here. I feel like everybody,
Yeah.
no disrespect to Meteor Open Mic, but like, the reason I hang out in the kitchen or out in front is because it seems like everybody here's in a contest to go deaf the fastest. Like, holy shit.
I always leave here with my ears ringing. I wear earplugs now.
No.
If I ever come here, yeah.
Shout out to Fanny Packs, everybody.
And they have, I swear, I mean, Caleb is a good sound tech. But
He's deafer than fuck.
But they have that, they have that PA. They are pushing that PA as loud as they possibly can.
I know.
And it sounds, I mean, it's good. It's fun. That's why we're here. That's how we met, right?
No, I mean, like, yeah, this is definitely.
This is how.
This is the
I've met
coolest.
a lot of cool people here.
This is
It's
definitely
a
the
great
coolest
place.
open mic.
Shout out to Caleb,
Yep.
Bobby.
Shout out to
Les.
everybody who doesn't bring too much gear. Take
Well,
20 minutes setting up.
Thankfully, they backline most everything: drums, bass amp, guitar amp.
It's already set up.
So
Is this my time? Please play another song. Oh, there's Bobby. I think I'm gonna.
you gonna play?
I'm probably. I don't know. Oh, another song. All right, sweet. I have to borrow a guitar. This
Nobody
is
brought their guitar tonight. Yeah.
Well, I didn't bring it because I already brought a golf case full of mic stands and shit. There needs to be a part 2 to this. I feel like.
Yeah. Whenever we have better audio too.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we're just a different location.
So here's the challenge with this podcast. Part of the fun for me is like you have to check in. How cool am I actually? All right. The level is can I go to a place of business and ask them to turn off Michael Bublé in one part of the room? You know, that's a level. That's like almost up there with not needing an ID. Like that's.
Well, let me ask you this then: do you prefer to do these podcasts on site at different places, or do you do it at your own home?
I don't do it. Okay. Normally, okay. I forgot to say the joke.
Because I mean, it is cool to do it here.
It's the
It's just
only.
if there wasn't like a concert going on in the background.
The
that's
only
the thing.
self-help podcast that only helps me. We could have done this in my room, but I didn't want to clean it. And okay, so like the whole thing I'm trying to
But
avoid
the
with.
vibe is cool. I mean, you want to find different atmospheres too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's also like you get bonus stuff being in relatively public. You know, like the fly ball coming into the frame.
Yeah. The soft. Yeah.
Or like.
Softball.
Or like. Like.
You get cameo appearances of people like walking by. Bobby just came in a minute ago.
The thing that bothers me is like, oh, you got a podcast. They immediately think Joe Rogan, where you got two dudes in headphones sitting 3 feet away from each other, talking directly into a microphone, acting like it's a normal conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's,
Nothing normal about that at all.
I don't like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially now that everybody's buying like podcast brand microphones that say podcast on them, and I'm like, that's a 58B. Like, what the fuck? You know, like, yeah. It's the dirty business side. Like, I have nicer stuff than all this. I promise.
Really? Yeah.
I just don't want to lug it around.
Yeah.
And for what? Like, this is supposed to be... Okay, the thing was supposed to be audio only. And then the first one I ever did was like, oh, well, how are we going to get clips? And I'm like, fuck! You know? Now I got to work 3 times as hard. But you get used to it, and that doesn't... And it's just like anything else, you know?
Well, keep at it, man. I mean, having your own podcast is a really cool creative outlet. It seems like more and more people are listening to podcasts as opposed to just TV or radio even. Like, I was talking to Will Brand. You know Will Brand?
Yeah.
He used to be at 104.9.
I got to get him on. He's the guy who does battle with Jacob on Facebook.
Right, yeah. And me and Jake have gotten into plenty of like friendly political debates, but
what are you saying?
Yeah, it always ends with like a handshake or a hug.
I tried to press him too.
Yeah.
I was like, we're talking about Nazis and stuff, and I was like, well, when we killed those bastards in World War II, we did take the interstate, rockets,
all our best scientists.
Yeah, we took. Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. The trains ran on time. There's nothing wrong with that. Everything else was bad. Not everything else, but they did a few things that were bad. I am not a Nazi. But
yeah, it's okay if you're a Nazi as long as you come work for us. That was Operation. Was it?
If you're good
Operation
at your
Paperclip?
job,
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Paperclip.
Yeah. NASA. That's the whole reason. Yeah.
It's okay if you're a Nazi as long as you go fight fight Russia and Ukraine.
Fight whoever we say is bad. Yeah. Whoever we say is bad. You ever feel like, oh, alright. Again.
We said we wouldn't get into activism, and here we are.
We could be contractors on the Death Star. We could be. You know. Shit. Alright. That was the intro.
Yeah, this has been fun, man. Thanks for hitting me up for this.
Absolutely.
I feel like I love how like we have the idea to talk about music, then it just goes into different directions. I love this spontaneous.
Oh yeah,
aspect
like
of it.
I don't like to have a plan. Everything else is
Like,
extra.
Yeah. I mean, even though music is mostly what I do for work and for a living, I have this kind of stuff, just shooting the shit, talking about random George Carlin, you know, comedy. I love this kind of stuff. So.
Well, I think like objectively speaking, the idea with the whole show is just like, you know, not to have dead air, just to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, and you're really good at that.
No matter where it goes. Yeah, thank you, ADHD, allegedly. I don't know. Can't tell if I have ADHD or if I just really like Adderall. No.
I never got on Adderall. They almost put me on it when I was a kid, but I think a lot of creative types or musicians you gotta have some sort of mental like ADD or be on the spectrum or something. Like, just to have that kind of different perspective allows you to see the world from a different angle.
Well,
what are your thoughts on that?
I think you might be onto something. Show me a drummer.
Or depression. A lot of people who have been depressed, it inspires them to like.
Well, okay, so
go
like
deep within the soul to want to.
So you were trying to call me brave for going on stage with just my dick in my hand, and I'll say this: it's like it's a combination of high ego, enough to get up on stage and think that I have something to say, combined with like low self-esteem, and that comes in when I look at the tape, listen to myself, driving home, thinking like, oh, I shouldn't have fucking said that. Oh, I should have fucking said this. Like, oh God, this was bad, you know. Like,
I think, yeah, that's normal though.
Well,
I would say, right? Or do you think?
No,
To have a little bit of like, I mean,
if you're gonna be like dress down pimp in the Chacos, I mean, yeah, that's what you're gonna need, and still be the coolest guy. Shit, like yeah, that helps.
Well, a lot of times, like musicians that have big egos, you think, oh, they got all this confidence.
No,
but a lot of times that ego comes from an insecurity. They're trying to compensate.
And I think that you're touching on something that would put a really nice bow on the end of the show, which is like, regardless of whatever creative endeavor that you're in, the poison for that is going to be insecurity. As soon as you talk about somebody, you know, anybody who has something that you want, not having what you want to have, anytime you express something like that, you just look like a fucking asshole, you know, and maybe this is why I don't like activists. It's because when most of these guys talk about the issue du jour of the day, you know, like they're not coming from a place that's real. They're doing it to gratify this insecurity that they have about themselves. And that's what I think bugs me, is because you're talking about human rights, but you're making it about you, and that's fucking lame. Yeah. So on that one, this should be.
Let's do a part 2 sometime.
This has been a bear of an episode,
man.
Yeah. Do you have any other locations? I thought this would be cool.
It definitely is cool.
But I forgot I was going deaf. Yeah. We'd have to show up at like 6. If we showed up before they started doing all this crap, they could totally. Or if we went into the basement would be fucking weird. I don't know.
Well, we can find somewhere in Fayetteville. I live in Johnson. So I live right by Fayetteville. Yeah, that'd be probably more convenient for me. I do work in Bentonville in the evenings, so I'm up here pretty often too.
Yeah. What's your square job?
What's that?
Your square job?
So I kind of have a non-traditional lifestyle. So I have basically 2 part-time jobs. In the morning, I work for a kava company that sells kava products. Like, you know the kava bar in Fayetteville?
Yeah.
That's not where I work at. It's a similar company. We sell kava cans and
I hosted
shots.
an open mic at Kava Bar for like 3 years.
So kava's a cool thing. It's a great alternative to alcohol. It's like essentially a mild plant medicine. But so I work for a company that sells kava in the mornings. I teach guitar lessons here at Bentonville.
At the Music Works?
Music Works.
Nice.
Yep. So
shout out to Bobby Katz.
Tomcats.
Tomcats,
Yeah.
fuck.
Tomcats. Yeah.
Tomcats.
No, Tom is awesome. Yeah.
Tomcats runs a blues night over at Music Depot. Those are cool.
Those are fun. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
But yeah. So I sell kava and I teach music. It's a lot of fun.
Look at
And
that.
I gig whenever I can on the weekend. So
We'll get into your original work on the next show. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Conrad Lensmeyer with Stan Watson.
Stan Watson. Yeah. Thanks, man.
Thank you for tuning in. I hope I can hear any of this later. This'll be super easy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. That was fun. I had a good time. It was just fun shooting. You need help tearing this down before we go?